Good morning and welcome to the Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Donna McCartney and I'm honored to be your worship associate today. I'm joined by Wendy Karn, our intern minister, and Steve Morhiro and Susan Shaw, who are our interim music directors, and Danielle Lewis, our director of religious education. And today, I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Even if you aren't a mother, you know mothers, so enjoy the day today. The title of our service is Imagining as a Spiritual Practice. As Unitarian Universalists, we love is at the center of our beliefs. We love love. How can we center love in imagining a new future together? Our intern minister, Wendy Karn, will explore this topic this morning. Whether you've been here 30 years or 3, 10 months or 10 minutes, and whether you strolled, rolled, ran, or danced in, we are glad you are with us this morning. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you are seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you will find it here. We are a community of many different identities and beliefs. We are bound together not by dogmas or creeds, but rather a covenant to create a welcoming and loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. In the spirit of building this community, let's recognize the many volunteers who have helped to put this service together today. Thank you. Roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. And Zoomers, good morning, Zoomers. We invite you to say hello in the chat. As we worship today, let's acknowledge that our church property rests on the sacred ancestral homelands of the Hashiman and Tongva peoples who seek justice and responsible stewardship. We begin our worship this morning with the lighting of our chalice. I'd like to invite someone up, but I didn't find somebody to light the chalice, so I will light the chalice. So as I light the chalice this morning, let's say lighting the chalice together. Affirmation, here we go. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. This we affirm together.
So please rise in body and spirit in singing our first hymn, Morning Has Broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for the singing, fresh from the word. From heaven, just like the dew on the first cross. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, form of a new light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise with the morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Thank you for those amazing sound effects. I felt like there was real birds in here and I was Snow White. So our opening reading today comes from kind of a curious place. Nick Cave is a goth rock icon and has been performing music since the 1980s, but has also written many books and has become a pretty impactful philosopher and theological thinker. And so I bring you today these words. What we think, do, and say is fundamental to the survival of this grand human project. Each of us is precious, and our actions are vital. Everything that we do and say matters. We can speak beauty into the world or poison it with our words. We can build things or tear them down. We can dream of a world that is vast and alive and interesting, or reason it to be small, hard, and empty. We are each an artist, said the poet, priest, and philosopher John O'Donohue. We each possess an imagination. Everyone, whether they like it or not, is involved in the construction of the world. Every action we take, every word we speak, builds or breaks the planet. We must approach this world as collaborators and willing participants in its preservation. Welcome to worship.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in a world of our creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it. There is no life I know to compare with your imagination. Living there, you'll be free.
That was so pretty. Change the world. There's nothing to it. See, it was right in the song. So, our story today is a wisdom tale that you may have heard before, but it's always good to have these things as reminders. They stick with us for a reason. So, this story is called The Magic Paintbrush, and it is a Chinese proverb, and it starts like this. There was once a boy named Malang, and he lived in a small village in China, and he was poor like most of the people in his village. Malang was also a very kind and friendly person, and he loved to draw. His love for painting knew no bounds, and it got to the point where he was just painting all over the place. Walls and empty spaces, making a beautiful place of his village, and he had a dream one night that this old man handed him a magical paintbrush and told him to use it to help the less fortunate. And when he woke up in the morning, he looked at his desk, and there was a paintbrush on it. A magical paintbrush was there when he awoke. So thought he'd try this out. He began to use the paintbrush anytime he thought someone needed assistance from that day on. So he designed a river, and it came to life when he noticed that people didn't have enough water to utilize in the fields. That's thinking upstream, right? He drew a cow, and it came to life when he observed how difficult it was for people to till the field. The cow might be readily available to be used for the plow, to help with the farming, and everybody loved the cow. As a result, whenever someone was in distress, he would use his magical paintbrush to assist them. And the magical paintbrush was pretty well known back then. They had all kinds of things come into life. So also, in this town, there was one really wealthy man who was also kind of cruel, and he was determined to steal Malang's paintbrush so that he could use it to become even wealthier. I know, that is what was important to him. So he realized that by bringing things to life and preserving them, he could make a lot of money. So he dispatched some people to Malang's residence and took him to prison. He was furious because the paintbrush was not working for him, though. So he summoned Malang to his chamber and said, "If you create some drawings for me and bring them to life, I will set you free." And this is what he said to Malang. And Malang didn't really want to serve such a horrible man, but he had a solution. He said, "Well, yeah, I can help you," he said to the wicked man, "but you must obey all of your words, and you must be honest." And this guy was not known for that at all. Not at all. What would you like me to draw?" Malang asked. And he said, the rich man stated, "I would like to have a golden mountain. I'll go there to look for gold." However, what Malang took that to mean was that he wanted a mountain. So the young man sketched a sea and a horizon, and at the end of that horizon in the sea, there was a gold mountain in the distance. And Malang also drew a large ship and grinned silently. And the rich person and his friends hopped on the ship. This is not a slam against rich people, just this one guy. I'm realizing as I read this that I thought I should clarify that. There's many lovely, affluent people who do all sorts of great things for the world, but not this one. This guy, not so much. So Malang created this boat, and the guy thought, great, I'll invite some of my friends on this boat. And then they go out to start going to the island so that they can mine their gold. But, Malang still had the paintbrush because it only worked for him. And he could only use it for reasons that supported the less fortunate. So he drew this wave. And there's two ways to tell this story. In the original, that group of people that went with the rich guy, they sink, and that seemed a little extreme. So I have an alternative ending for you that's, I'm not sure if it's more humane or not in this case, but anyway, so this tremendous wave just pushes them onto this island. So they're on the shore of the island, and then they realize they have everything they need, but there's nothing to buy. So, and there's no way back because the boat sank in the wave. Yeah, so they had to learn to work together, but we don't know if they did or not because that is where the story concludes. Ma Lang kept doing wonderful things for his community as the needs came up. And that's our story today, folks. And I'd like to invite Danielle Lewis up to light our children's chalice, and we will sing our children out. There are so many boundaries in me, so many limitations, prisons, places where a line has been drawn, perhaps by another, but also perhaps by me. And the lines say, stop. The lines say, don't be curious. They say, make yourself small, now smaller. But imagination is like the big pink eraser that rubs out the lines, smears and disappears them. Sometimes it's more like a tear, a small rip in the known. And it bids me to look through the lines as if peeking through a curtain. And sometimes the imagined takes a line and bends and twists like a clown with a balloon until what I thought was a boundary becomes a bird or a crown, becomes a flower, or it turns the line perpendicular so what I thought was a deadline becomes a path. I want to listen for the voices beyond the boundaries, open to what I cannot yet see. I want to welcome the horizon like a bell calling me home. Let it lead us.
How can we lift our voices
So I have a quick question for you, everyone. Do you all remember February? I mean, for me, it seems like this year has gone by very long and very slow, and things are getting jumbled together. So I was just thinking about February, and I was in Chicago the first week of February, and our neighborhood here at home had just experienced so much devastation with the fires, and it felt very strange to be in a town where it was very, very cold. And we had not had rain yet by that point that I was there early in the month. We hadn't had rain for months. So that was kind of weighing on my soul and heavy on my mind. And that event is actually what brought me back to watching the news in short pieces on television, because I had stopped for a while. But I wanted to know what was going on with, the neighborhood 30 miles away in two different directions from my home. And I was keeping in touch, but somehow I felt like I didn't need the audio or visual with my news. But anyway, what I found out and what I continued to kind of ruminate on was layoffs of federal workers were just starting to happen without much consideration for what they actually do in their jobs. There had been a commercial plane crash, and this particular February, I was flying more than I ever have in a single month in my entire life. And I'm not typically a nervous flyer, but when I landed in Chicago, I felt such a profound sense of relief. The person next to me, she blurted out what was basically a prayer. She said, "Oh, thank you, Jesus." And I immediately said back to her this enthusiastic, "Amen." So I guess I had been praying too. So it's safe to say I myself was catastrophizing about things that I wasn't even necessarily aware of. So I get to Chicago on a Saturday afternoon, and I can see a protest going on from my window. And this protest is against illegal immigration. This is right at the beginning. And tariffs against our most immediate neighbors, Mexico and Canada. And China was like off in the conversation over here somewhere. And, things have been kind of going all over the place since then. But I had to do homework to a class, so I did not join that rally. But the class was Introduction to Ethics, Themes and Topics. So this was a required class, and it came up a few times in my class schedule, and I was like, no, I think that might be a little too heavy with the mix of classes that I have. But then it came to the last semester, I'm like, well, I guess this must be the time I need it. And the thing that I have most learned at seminary is that sometimes you just have to trust the process, because everything has kind of happened right at the right time. So anyway, one thing that I always do, and I was sitting there doing my homework, and one thing I always do is kind of look at the whole semester. Like, what are the projects going to be? What are we going to be doing? And one of the things was a final paper, taking a situation and then thinking about it and then deliberating what the solution was and then coming up with a plan of action. Not a solution, but a plan of action. So it kind of taught me how to imagine in the real world. But, oh my gosh, there's so many things going on and has been for decades and centuries. Where do I start? Do I start with foreign aid, air traffic control, immigration, inflation, climate change? Kind of like with the plane landing, I didn't realize how much space, all of these things. And I just said those things because I had already talked about them, but there are many others, so many others. And I'm started thinking about how much I'm kind of joining in the catastrophizing of what's going on. So this is a deeply confusing time to live in the United States of America, and we imagine our future as a country. It may be easier for some of us to lead into catastrophizing the scenarios that are playing out in real time. And it might rob our ability to really come up with solutions or even hear the things that might actually be helpful if they come across the docket. We're preparing ourselves, and we're kind of sitting on our hearts and worry. And, you know, some of us aren't. Some of us are not. But at the same time, it's those are the things we wrestle with. Like, what is the best way? What is the most ethical way to handle some of these situations? And whichever issue lays on your heart, it may have something to do with yourself or the people you care about the most, or the people that we are feeling are most in peril. And with something like climate change, we're all in peril. I mean, I know there are people who think otherwise, but I definitely see it coming. And you look at the weather. The truth of it is, these issues we face with inclusivity, immigration, poverty, war, you name it, they're all intersectional problems, and they're all related to each other. So coming up with we're kind of addicted in this culture to short-term solutions. And I think it might serve us better in the national imagination to look at some of the problems that are ongoing and get everyone involved in that conversation. I know it sounds like a really difficult thing right now, but we all have a story. We all have a narrative to contribute to the conversation. And maybe the people over on the Golden Island don't know what it's like to need a cow to till your land. I don't know. It's just a thought. So these issues that we face, racism, individualism, classism, scarcity, I think we've been very short-sighted, like I said, and we can't change the world in one day. But what if we started to transform ourselves? What if we transformed ourselves by being a little more imaginative and a little more intentional in our thinking about how we come to these problems? So there was a story that I was told recently as an example of this. So there was some women washing their laundry in that river. Let's say it's Ma Lang's river that is going to be irrigating the crops. And all of a sudden, we see babies in baskets coming down the river, one after the other. Oh my gosh, I have to save that baby. I have to save that baby. And then one of the women bolts up the hill and then comes back. And the other person there says, "Why did you leave? There are babies in the river." And the other woman said, "I wanted to see who was putting babies in the river." And then, there's the other question of why? Why were they putting babies in the river? So we have to kind of look upstream to see where we need to go when we want to be creative. And I think the biggest question that we need to ask ourselves when we're at one of these ethical crossroads is, what's going on? What's going on? And more specifically, what's going on right here in whatever situation you're looking at? Start from the beginning. So we have a lot of things to look at. And I chose to go with food insecurity because throughout this internship, I have been working with Share Ourselves and involving you in Share Ourselves and learning more about food insecurity in our county. So I know this is astounding, but 1 in 3 people live at or below the poverty line in Orange County. And when I looked at what the poverty level was in Orange County, I was kind of shocked. My husband and I have been on a single income for 3 years because I've been in school, and between the two of us, we actually are living at the poverty line. But our needs are small, but it's just kind of it's shocking to see that. But there are so many people that are struggling. So here at OCUUC, we've had a relationship with this group, I think, since its inception. Share Ourselves has been around since 1975, so this means that people have had needs for support since 1975. It is 2025. If we look up the river, why do people still need help? And the thing is, these things were designed to be kind of, getting people through rough times. But there are many people who need support all of the time now. And we have to kind of ask ourselves, what's going on here? So we have been donating food. We've shared our collection plate. We've participated in backpack drives and adoptive families and so many other projects way before I got here. And I know that there was even work done during the pandemic to continue support of this organization. And that's important. Thank you for that. It's important to share our resources. But one thing that I learned is that we can't do it by ourselves. A lot of these food banks also are getting national and state support. And on March 27th, many of those pieces are no longer being delivered. So I don't know what that looks like as far as a solution, but it does make me concerned because the need has not gone away since 1975 to support people. So in my adult life, I have experienced times when I've been pretty tight on the money, but I'm also very grateful that most of the times that I have been in a food bank has been serving other people. I have been there working to pack boxes and hand off backpacks and that kinds of thing. But okay, here's my ethical dilemma. And so this is where I started before I started going upstream to figure out what the problem was. So I was working at a food bank once, and I'm there with a few other people, and I see someone putting supplies into their own bag. And, there's a lot that I'm thinking about this. I mean, in some ways, that's not an ethical problem because it's kind of just skipping the middleman in the process, the middle person in the process. But also, people donating goods, they like to be able to imagine where their things are going. But we don't know, and I did not know anything about this person or their circumstances, but I didn't say anything at the time, and I didn't ask anyone at the time if people that volunteer at the food bank had access to the food themselves, and if they did, would they be taking from the donations that went into that space? And it's something I think about now. I mean, are there people within our walls right now that could use a little help? And I hope they feel comfortable asking for that. But what is really going on that so many people are still in need of support? And I have to kind of look at wages. Our wages for service people are very, very low. We have moved the California National, or the minimum wage to $16.50, which is very high in this country, but it does not support a single person. If you go and work at a fast food place, It's $20 now. And that also doesn't work because the minimum wage for supporting a whole life in Orange County is $38 an hour, 38.14 actually. And that's pretty far away from that. And even the $20 that people are getting in food service, so get this, it has resulted in higher prices at whatever place you go, but also people are not getting scheduled enough hours. They're getting more pay, but statistically speaking, in a recent study, it looks like people are not getting more hours. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do right here about that? And I think that I'm taking it upon myself in the context of my ministry to kind of look at these systemic topics like poverty and see what is the rest of our community? What is our interfaith community? What are our social justice groups doing in the community to support low-wage workers? And how can we be a part of that? How can we raise that visibility? Because I think a lot of us don't know. And there's so much filling our brains. Again, it's really hard to sit down and imagine a solution when we have all these narratives of a world on fire. And I don't think we should ignore those things, but if we just focus on ruminating there, we skip something that could be very important, and that is our imaginations. So my question for you now, and we're going to do a little bit of an exercise here. So pick one of the things that is on your heart. Is it human connection? Is it poverty? Is it inclusion? What is something that you've seen lately that you would like to address? And we'll just take just a moment to kind of settle in and think about that. It's okay if there's more than one, but try to think about one right now. Okay, when you have something in mind, I invite you to imagine, like really imagine in a big way, what it would look like to have that situation sorted out. How would it feel to not have to worry about that for yourself or for others? What does that look like? I know, I heard that. So they say the longest part of any journey is step number one. And if you were able to envision what the life looked like, can you imagine for me what you would do with a magic paintbrush? What is one thing you could create right now? And we're not looking to solve problems. We're looking to move things to a place where things are different, and change takes time. What can you do to change what you see with magic paintbrush? Okay, So, how did that feel? How did it feel to be allowed to think big, to think without restrictions if you got there? If you didn't, that's okay. This is not something we do. Usually we just like jump down the rabbit hole and start thinking about other things or trying to fix things that may need to be fixed in little tiny pieces instead of one swoop. Not everybody's solution would be the same, but how do we get closer to those spaces? And how did it feel? Notice in your body how it felt. If you were living in that world where you felt comfortable that change had happened and you don't have to worry about that one thing. I think it's important to think about this because it engages our hope mechanism. And there's a lot of things to be hopeful for, but if we don't have it, then we're not in a good place. We have to kind of keep moving forward through that process. Keep moving through that process together. So I will say a little definition of hope. This is also brought forth by goth rock icon Nick Cave. He asks, so what is hope? What is hope for? Hope is a small emotional temper that emboldens the heart to be active. Hope is a condition, a mood, an aura of being. It is a feat of the imagination, both courageous and ingenious, a vitality that inspires us to take innovative action to defend the world. Hope is essential to our survival and flourishing. We do this together, and we don't have to agree on everything. We don't really even have to agree on anything. We have to listen and see what wisdom can be found in the art of learning about each other's narratives and what it contributes to that space. And maybe just ask each other when you're out having coffee, what did you create with your magic paintbrush? So I will say this, as we move into these challenging times together, what is the most loving thing we can do with each other to invite change into our lives? And grand vision, it seems, comes in all sizes, always one size too big, so that we all have room to grow. May it be so.
Please rise and body your spirit and sing with us. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom. is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all the funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of our church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUC amplifies its spirit of generosity by sharing one half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. The May Plate shares with the Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry of California. Their work focuses on 4 justice issues: climate, economic, immigration, and racial justice. There are multiple ways that you can support the church and this organization as well. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, or use an app called Vanco Mobile. If you're a roomer, you can also simply use a basket as it's passed. The choice is yours. All the information is on our website should you need it, and as always, thank you for your generosity.
If you're so moved, the choir is going to be singing along and whooping it up and clapping on the chorus. You are welcome to join in. We would love that. Ready? Hope and change is what you voted for. And looking at you now, I know that you're wishing that your vote did something more to move it forward. Hoping that the nation would be freed from the hands of ignorance and greed. But you know that slogan always needed just one more word. Hope, struggle, and change. Hope, struggle, and change. There's trouble and danger on the road to justice. We gotta keep on hoping, gotta keep our eyes open. Change will come, but it won't be easy. You know that civil rights didn't fall to us the moment Rosa Parks stepped on that bus. So many fought and died for racial justice before and after. And suddenly a ray of hope appears, but only after years and years and years, and only after blood and sweat and tears and even laughter. Hope, struggle, and change. Hope, struggle, and change. There's trouble and danger on the road to justice. We gotta keep on hoping. We gotta keep our eyes open. And change will come, but it won't be easy. Elizabeth Cady Stanton never saw a woman's right to vote become the law. But women everywhere now know the awesome load she carried. And Stonewall didn't settle any fights. There's been a lot of stonewalling since that night. But another state just recognized the right of people to be married. Hope, struggle, and change. Hope, struggle, and change. There's trouble and danger on the road to justice. We gotta keep on hoping, gotta keep our eyes open. And change will come, but it won't be easy. So asking any president to make fundamental change, that's our mistake. We gotta be a giant just awakening from its slumber. You know the moral arc of the universe is bending ever better, never worse. It's like the human race rehearsing for its big number. Hope, struggle, and change. Hope, struggle, and change. There's trouble and danger you're on the road to justice. We gotta keep on hoping, gotta keep our eyes open. Change will come, but it won't be easy. And change will come, but it won't be free. And change will come from you and me.
So let's sing together. We gather together a song that expresses our gratitude for the gifts that we share.
Together we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. And give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Now is the time when we honor the important events in our lives. You're invited, one and all, whether you're a member, a friend, or a visitor, to participate in our weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. So let's take a breath together. Perhaps you come here today holding something close to your heart, moments from the last days or hours that have struck you at your core. If you'd like to honor such a profound joy or sorrow, you are invited to do so. If you're a roomer, you're invited to come forward to light your candle. If you would like to share a joy or sorrow, you can write it on a slip of paper. And if you are in need of a slip of paper, our lovely ushers, beautiful people, they have them and they will bring them to you if you haven't filled one out already. Then you can hand it to me. And if you are a Zoomer, hello, Zoomers. Special welcome to you. You're invited to write your own joy or sorrow in the chat. And once the roomers are done lighting candles, I will read all these joys and sorrows out loud. Sours. As Dawn lights a candle for you. Bertie has asked if you might be interested in lighting candles today. But she is so with you in spirit. Thank you, Dawn. Behind the candles today, standing in for Bertie, is Dawn. Okay. Natty A shares a sorrow and a gratitude piece for the memories of her mother, Renee, who passed September 1st, 2022, and their auntie Cheryl, who passed on Tuesday this past week. And from Rachel L., a prayer lifted for healing for her 73-year-old father who fell while walking his giant dog. He needed surgery, pins, and a metal plate in his shoulder. He is improving, but he's bored. Alejandro would like to share his sorrow. 12 years ago, his mother passed, and they buried her on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to her, and whose mother's love lives on in Alejandro. Whew. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. Sandy would like to have some healing. Please send healing thoughts to Richard O'Neill, who is now home recovering from prostate surgery. So please send him some good wishes. And Kathleen says, the flowers today are in honor of her mother, whose birthday would have been last week. Sending love to all of the mothers. And Simone B. shares, remembering as she was not able to attend church last week because of the marathon. Ah, yes, the marathon. Yes. I light a candle of the end of World War II and in Europe on May 8th, and I remember. Ava and Cosme have a joy. Their first grandchild was born this week. A little boy, Rafael Liberto, 5 pounds and 9 ounces. Kristen M. has a joy and a sorrow. Happy birthday to my sister Joanna, my nephew Matthew, and my nephew Matthew. Happy Mother's Day to her mom, and please love to her college roommate Amy, whose mom passed away this week. And Jolynn, a joy, a week filled with performances, choir show, jazz band. Chance had an epic solo vocal on bass, Shining Star. And first full-length play at Savannah High School in a decade. Oh, wow. Directed by Jolynn. And she directed Our Town. And it starred Chance as George. They are such proud parents. Must have had some good mothering there. And to all of you who have mothered in any way, shape, or form, or had a mother in any shape or form, hold yourself in care today because it's a special day. I'm on my way to my mother-in-law's house right after this service. So as we finish this up, I'm going to have Dawn come up and read a prayer. Oh. I'm so sorry, Zoomers. This is why I have to have this usually on here. Okay, I'm so sorry. So, I'm not sure who this is from, but Bob had a shoulder replacement on Friday and is starting the healing process. That's Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. And Maureen would like to share that her beloved sister Martha died on Wednesday. She was 88 and had been on hospice for a month. She lived in Billings, Montana. And Marilyn would also like to wish Bob a speedy recovery from shoulder replacement. Imagine him with a brand new shoulder. Thank you. And with that, we'll invite Donna up for our pastoral prayer.
Prayer for this day. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit of hope, Spirit of justice. God, known by many different names, you've given us a day unique from any other. You've connected us, all of us, with each other and the world in ways that are largely a mystery to us. You've given us little instruction other than to be present in our own lives. You put gifts and challenges in our path, joys and sorrows, strengths and frailties, some of which we've already encountered, and others we have yet to discover. On this unique day, may we receive exactly what it is that we need. Amen.
Okay, so it's time for us to extinguish our chalice. So let us join us together as we extinguish a flame and say together, we extinguish our chalice. So thank you all for joining us this morning. If you're a guest, a visitor, or someone who has not yet been known to us, if you would like to know more about this church and this beloved community, we invite you to either stop by the welcome table, which is right out here as you're leaving in the courtyard, where we have information for you to contact us, or you can contact us as one of these sites. Especially the first one is a really effective way to get connected with our community, and the welcome table has fabulous information for us. So contact one of these sites and we'll help you get connected. Zoomers are welcome to stay after and chat with one another online. Okay, Zoomers, do it. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community, so please reach out and we will help you get connected.
I need props for this announcement. Behold, in front of you, you have a disco ball because next Saturday, on May 17th, there is this awesome We Are Family party and auction. And I have to tell you, remember the ball. You are going to need, okay, first of all, is there anybody here who hasn't been to an auction before? Okay, great. If you would be welcome new auctioneers, but also if you've been here for a while, I wanted to let you know you need to go and register to be in the system to participate, and you can see Nancy or Jacques, or if you don't want to see Nancy or Jacques, you can use this code. But, you know, they're really very nice people, and they would be happy to oblige you. But you will need to register today if you're going to participate and boogie the night away. Okay, thank you, Jolynn. Jolynn, if you did not hear, she was using her theater voice, her outdoor voice, if you will. But just in case you didn't hear that, or if it was hard to hear online, even if you've done this in the past, you need to register again because it's a whole new system. Imagine a world where there's a brand new system and your old pedals don't exist. That's what we're looking at. So anyway, I hope that you all can make it to what? In the Victoria Room, or use this code. The choice is yours. Anyway, I guess also I have to announce that Reverend Sean returns next week. So that's fun. And we have many fascinating things going on today and next week. But what I really want to highlight is the disco. But our service in the world continues. Continue to imagine more beautiful things in this beautiful world.